downtown St. Louis. The river is high. Temperatures low in the mid-40s. Big crowd on hand for Game 4 of this 4-game set. It's the Cardinals and Reds tonight on Fox Sports Net. With Al Rabosky, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Welcome to Cardinals baseball, everybody. Great to have you with us. When you talk about Tony La Russa and the Cardinals, he always says, not the individual games, winning series, and he has a chance to do that tonight.
Well, you want to go out there and win as many games as possible. Whenever you can win a series, that's a very good formula, because if you win every series, no one can catch you. And when you have a 4-game series, you got to win 3 out of 4, and we got that chance. And
Woody Williams will make that start tonight for St. Louis. Last time out, he was very, very good.
Woody, this is his second time since coming off the disabled list. First time, 6 innings of just going right after you. He threw 96 pitches. He was outstanding in that game. And you better believe his teammates appreciate the fact that he's back and pitching well.
Yesterday, Garrett Stevenson picked up his first victory since September of 2000, and now it's a chance for Woody Williams to get his first victory of this season. We talk about the offense. The bats were somewhat dormant for a while, but now a guy like Tino Martinez is picking things up.
Well, hitting becomes contagious, and when you get one of your big bats like Tino to do what he did yesterday, the second consecutive day that he hit a home run, that was a 3-run shot, and of course he has 3 home runs in the last week, so he's starting to pick up the paces.
And he's got 5 on the year. He's got 23 RBIs, which is second best on the St. Louis Cardinals. We'll take a timeout from Busch Stadium. Coming up, we'll visit with some St. Louis Rams that are actually here for batting practice. Jimmy Haynes, a right-hander, will make the start for Cincinnati against Woody Williams. Cardinal baseball right around the corner. Beautiful night here at Busch Stadium, and we welcome you back to Cardinals baseball. This is not Rams football, but Cardinals baseball. Dre Bly, we've got the man Torrey Holt, and of course Dexter McLeon. Now, what are you guys all doing here? We'll start with you. What are you doing here?
Well, you know, Big Game just wanted to come out and make his presence felt this evening and come down and show my support to the St. Louis Cardinals. You know, a great organization. The Rams is a great organization. I think it shows the city of St. Louis that 2 organizations of such magnitude can come together and have a great time and support one another.
Now, he's Big Game on the football field, but how about during batting practice? It's not pretty, is it?
I don't know. You have to check out his attire, his outfit, his uniform. He got the old school socks, got the pants pulled up. I don't know. I don't know.
You like the Cardinals uni, though, right, guys?
Yeah,
Dexter, you like it?
Love it, love it. We're just out here trying to have a great time. Tony may need a couple of pins runners late in the game, so we got to be ready.
Now, do you guys know any baseball, or is this all football for you guys? Anybody know baseball?
We play a little bit back in the day, but I'm sure we're a little rusty, so don't get it on tape.
Anybody can outdo anybody, of course, on the football field, but I want to know who's the best baseball player out of the 3 of you. Anybody want to take that shot? I know you will. I'm going to shut you up because I'm done with you.
Right. I haven't played baseball since Little League. Between these 2 guys here, man, they can go at it. He played some in college, and I think Dex played about 4 years in college, so it'll be between those 2 guys.
Is Mike Martz concerned about any BP injuries? Nothing. You guys all right? All right, guys. Have fun. Enjoy the game tonight.
We will. Thank you.
Thank you. Cardinal baseball is coming up next. Cardinal baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Budweiser, with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. This Bud's for you. By your local Chrysler and Jeep dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Cardinals on Fox Sports Net. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Center, St. Louis's #1 choice for tires and automotive service. By Pennzoil, protection under the toughest conditions. And by Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with lower fares. Big crowd on hand, a cool night here at Busch Stadium in downtown St. Louis. There's a look at second-year manager Bob Boone of the Reds. Here's a look at his lineup. Presented by Southwest Airlines. Larkin had that leadoff home run yesterday. He'll lead things off tonight. Then on Encarnacion, Casey, Kearns, Dunn, Boone, Walker, LaRue is behind the plate, and Jimmy Haynes will bat 9th. He's on the mound. Around the Horn is brought to you by Dobbs. Look at the Cardinals defense tonight. Tina was in first, swinging that hot bat. Fernando Vina, Gold Glover from a year ago, is at second. Placido Polanco gets a start after his home run yesterday. He's at third. Renteria is at short. In the outfield, Albert Pujols is in left. Jim Edmonds, 4-time Gold Glover, is in center field. J.D. Drew is the right fielder tonight. Eli Marrero, his second consecutive start in as many days. He's behind the plate. He had a big day yesterday. And Woody Williams is part of our Chrysler Jeep starting matchup.
Woody, see his record, good ERA, good opponent's batting average. He's 3-1 lifetime in 5 career games against the Reds. He was 2-0 last year. And, of course, Woody is just such a gutsy performer. Goes out there and invents pitches, does whatever he can to win a ball game. Expect a good performance each time.
Barry Larkin, Juan Encarnacion, and Sean Casey for the Reds here in the top of the first. Williams is set, and so are we. We hope you enjoyed tonight. Here from Bush, 7:10 with our first pitch is popped up. That'll find the seats out of play. And a good play by a fan down in that 9th row of the seats. No balls and a strike on Barry Larkin. He homered. Second time this year. He's got 2 on the season. Led off the game with a home run. Just 11 RBIs and only hitting .230 on the year.
Oh, only 3 hits in his last 23 ABs. 17th season, 11-time All-Star, captain of the Reds.
He was the 1995 MVP. Outstanding career for Barry Larkin. Close to 200 home runs, close to a 300 hitter. Played in the shadow of Ozzie Smith as far as the top shortstop in the National League for a number of years. 2 balls and a strike. 17 years now in Cincinnati for Larkin. Longest tenure in one spot in Major League Baseball. Was number 1 Ozzie Smith will be inducted into baseball's Hall of Fame in about a month and a half. The 2-1 is ripped to short. There's Renteria, 1 away. Remember Dad this Father's Day with a subscription to Cardinals Game Day magazine. Brighton, Illinois native Jason Isringhausen, the favorite son of Brighton, Illinois, graces the cover of this month's issue. Inside you'll meet Cards prospect Chris Duncan and his father, pitching coach Dave Duncan. Here is the number for the Game Day magazine, 982-7336. 982-7336. And operators are standing by as we speak. Here's Juan Encarnacion. Bob Boone now has moved him up and down the lineup. He has great speed and obviously very good power with 10 home runs and 28 RBIs.
Trying to find a place for him. Remember they had Walker up the top of the order for a while, but batting slump put him back to the 8th spot. This guy has a lot of talent. Part of the Dimitri Young trade that brought him to Cincinnati.
They also got a nice reliever out of that deal as well.
We saw him yesterday.
Pineda. 1 ball, 1 strike on Encarnacion. There's a fly ball into center. Easy play for the Gold Glover. 2 outs. And it's up to Sean Casey with 2 outs and nobody on here in the first.
You know, Dan, 2 years ago when the Cardinals made their push after they acquired Will Clark, and there you see the no decision. An unearned run is the only thing that he allowed in that 6 innings of just gutsy performance. And last year that real spark plug was Woody Williams. He came over August 2nd, 7-1 down the stretch. He was nearly perfect, and without the contribution from Woody Williams, the Cardinals wouldn't have gotten postseason play.
No doubt about it. And in many ways, Walt Jocketty made that deal, Al,
for this year. Yeah.
Not for last year.
No, I mean, because the club was buried, not showing good signs. There's his career mark at Busch Stadium, but Woody took charge, and I mean, he really fired up the troops, and they won 40 of the last 58 games and tied for the best lead.
Renteria in air.
Boy, he has played so well defensively. That's only his 3rd error, and it's been quite a while since he's made one. So this little hop comes up on him a little bit. Still looked like he would have been fine, but and then it looked like he got something in his eye. And Woody can't believe they're a very good competitor, but obviously you're not trying to make those errors.
Last year the errors were high for Renteria. He was tops in that category in the National League for shortstops. Here's the birthday boy, Austin Kearns, now 22 years of age. In his rookie season, that may have hit him, and it did. Just nicked his jersey, so first and second, 2 outs, and that'll bring in the very dangerous Adam Dunn.
Now this young man is going to get hit a lot because he dives into pitches, and that's where they want to pitch him. They want to contain him inside, and he'll walk into a few of them.
So first and second, An error by Renteria allowed Casey to reach. He moves up to second after the hit by pitch on Kearns. Brings in Dunn.
Not a good way to enjoy your birthday, right?
No.
This didn't hurt him.
That was the easy way. He's been hit in the face, hit on the arm, and then hit in the face in his first few weeks in the major leagues. 2 outs, 2 on. Dunn looks at a strike. 8 home runs, 30 RBIs. Started the year 2 for 20. And they made an adjustment with his swing. They found that he was uppercutting and bailing out. Made a minor adjustment, and he's been outstanding ever since. Take a look at the defense for Dunn. A shift. They expect him to pull, and you'll see why when he takes a hack. Jim Lefevre is the new batting coach, hitting instructor for the Cincinnati Reds.
Hasn't homered in his last 11 games.
1 and 2. Ryan Lefevre, by the way, is a play-by-play voice, his son of the Kansas City Royals.
And Jim Lefevre has worked in that capacity as batting coach in the past for teams managed by Tony La Russa.
Yep. Here's a 1-2.
Woody Williams regularly throws to Marrero, and with a veteran like Woody, who basically calls his own game, it's a good way for Marrero to really learn the nuances of calling pitches.
Full count. Was talking about that aspect of Eli's game with Tony La Russa yesterday, Al, before the game, and because we were speculating why Marrero was getting a start, and Tony had alluded to us that he felt that was his best offensive catcher at this point in time in the season, but he thought the best aspect that has improved with Marrero is his pitch calling in games. Now, he'll get a lot of help from the dugout, but it has improved. Full count on Dunn. Runners go, and the pitch is grounded to second. Pena is there, and Williams pitches around the air. We played a half inning here in St. Louis. Cardinals trying to pull within 3 games of the Reds. No score. 61 degrees. And our first pitch here at Busch Stadium, that is expected to drop into the mid to low 40s here at Busch. Here's a look at Tony La Russa's lineup tonight, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Pena, Drew Pujols, then Edmonds, Martinez, Renteria, Polanco, Eli Marrero, and Woody Williams. Very good hitting pitcher. Around the Horn is brought to you by Dobbs. A look at the defense for Cincinnati tonight. Casey, along with Walker on the right side of the infield. Aaron Boone, a start at third. He has been struggling as of late. Larkin is at short. We saw him in the first. Adam Dunn out in left. Encarnacion is in center. Austin Kearns is in right, and behind the plate, Jason LaRue. On the mound, it's Jimmy Haynes. Here's Pena stepping in. Pena, Drew, and Pujols against Haynes here in the bottom of the first. Pena actually took a pitch. Make that 2. It's 2-0.
Jimmy Haynes made 8 previous starts. He is 3-4 on the young year. He did pitch 1 time in Cincinnati against the Cardinals. Came out trailing 2-1, a 4-2 victory eventually for the Redbirds. He's actually pitched better on the road than he has at home this year.
His numbers brought to you by your local Chrysler Jeep dealers. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and that's fouled into the seats. 2-2. Signed by the Reds as a free agent was Jimmy Haynes.
There was no decision. It was 2-1. He was trailing when he came out of that ball game. 91 pitches. So much of his game depends on his location. He has a tendency to get a lot of pitches up, and when he does, he's not as good as when he keeps the ball down.
Here's a 2-2, and Pena shoots it for a base hit off the glove of Sean Casey, and that's how we start the game offensively for St. Louis. Pena, Al, has been hot as of late.
He's swinging that good bat, average over 300, and Fernando now continues to hit in 14 of his last 17 games. Hard hit smash just off the end of the glove of Casey. They got a very good second baseman in Walker who chases that down. Walker actually leads the National League in fielding percentage at second base, but We know Fernando's playing a phenomenal defense also.
Range is much better when you talk about Vigna. He's off and running, and the pitch is grounded to second. They avoid the double play, and Drew is out at first. 161 at-bats this season for J.D. Drew, and he's yet to ground into a double play. None to start the year. Avoids a double play there, and moving up, it's Vigna to second.
Vigna takes off on the pitch. Is out away from him, kind of rolls over. Little weak ground ball to second. And only play is to first. So Fernando out there in scoring position for Mr. Pujols.
Albert is hitting .284. Tough day yesterday, but swinging much better as of late.
Had a few scouts today were asking about his attitude. Noticed some things they don't took note of yesterday when he didn't run out that ball, and the way he flips the bat every now and then when he gets hit by a pitch, and they were making notes that they didn't like the body language they were seeing.
National League Rookie of the Year from a year ago. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Instead, Vigna back to second. Albert had a nice BP, and that means absolutely nothing, but Tony La Russa and I, and you were there, Al, were watching Albert take BP. He was crushing the baseball to dead center field, and Tony La Russa was actually saying, save that for the game. He looked good.
Now that's a good approach. You know, when you can take the ball up the middle, not trying to pull everything. Albert, was it Friday night? He hit his first home run of the season at Busch Stadium.
Yep. Here's a 1-0 pitch. 2-0. Talked to Tom Lawless, who's now part of Major League Baseball, but was in the Cardinals organization as a manager, and he had Albert Pujols, and one of the things he said was time and again he had to call Albert into his office. Talk about an attitude adjustment at times. Here's a 2-0. 3 balls, no strikes on Pujols, with Edmonds, the cleanup man, on deck. But we've talked about it before, Al, both on and off the air. We've seen it more pronounced this year with what you were talking about before. Ringing out is Tony, turn him loose. Instead, ball 4. That'll bring in Edmonds.
Best way I know is when you got a club like this that can't really say the Reds are struggling because they've been playing good baseball all year, but Cardinals beat them 2 out of 3 in Cincinnati, 2 out of 3 in the first 3 games of this 4-game set. Jump out on top of them and just make them feel like they can't play with the big boys. Bob Boone managed the Royals and the Reds. Got a lot of youngsters on this team.
Here's Edmonds. Good chance here. 5 straight balls thrown by Jimmy Haynes. He was 8 and 17 a year ago for Milwaukee. And Jim Edmonds has a home run, 8 for 24 against Jimmy Haynes in his career. Edmonds is putting up some great numbers to start this year. Maybe his best start. And he's had some great ones. 2-0.
Jimmy Haynes came to the big leagues back in '95 with Baltimore. Then he went to Oakland, part of the '97 season, all of '98 and '99, and the last 2 years with Milwaukee. So let's see if he doesn't cross up his catcher.
Almost looked like he just boxed it.
Yeah, I thought more so that.
Also a reason for that conference is 6 straight balls he has thrown.
And make a dangerous hitter even more so.
You got it. Tino's on deck. Here's a 2-0 instead. Haynes will step off.
And little things like that, if you're a hitter of the ilk of Jim Edmonds, you get pumped up. You sit there and say, he's afraid to throw a pitch to me.
Good cut by Edmonds. 2 balls and a strike. He is now 3rd in the National League with a .338 mark behind Klesko of San Diego and Barry Bonds, who is hitting .386 clip.
been pretty consistent, hasn't he? 354 a year ago, but 7 home runs, 2 less, and he had less RBIs a year ago. He has worn that uniform very proudly his first 2 years, and his numbers have been outstanding.
2 balls and a strike. Pujols at first. Bean is at second. Edmonds looks at a ball. This gets interesting. 3 balls and a strike here, and he's got Tino on deck swinging that hot bat. Has to come to Edmonds with first and second occupied.
And the count. Look at the hitter he is, and that's where Jim is right now. Cripples count, 3-1, 1 out. How aggressive you want to be?
Edmonds is sitting on 9 home runs. He'll take a ball. And the bases are loaded for Tino Martinez. Back-to-back walks, Pena single, and the bases loaded.
Yeah, he's saying that after the pitch, he said, you know, hey, it's the baseballs. They're not rubbed up sufficiently. Never is a cool night, so they feel a little slicker. John Gullett, slow walk out there, and just tell you, hey, you're going to struggle against a good offensive club that the Cardinals have, but don't complicate things by giving them free passes.
Inning started by Pena with a base hit. J.D. Drew moved the runner up to second. He grounded out to second. It was a walk to Pujols, walk to Edmonds, and here's Tino Martinez. So bases loaded. There they are, Pena, Pujols, and Edmonds. And this man at the plate has been swinging that hot bat. He has hit safely in 7 of his last 8 games, and he's hit safely in all the games against Cincinnati this year. Let's take you back to yesterday. A 3-run shot. You bet Tino jumped on it. A line shot. And Martinez had himself a home run. He's got 5 on the year, 23 RBIs.
Ball down and in, and he jumped it.
Tino up the middle, base hit. 1 run in. Pujols being waved home. The throw to the plate. Not in time. RBIs 24 and 25 for Tino. And it's 2-0 St. Louis.
Boy, that was pretty. You see a swing like that, and you don't worry about whether you got a bat slow down a little bit. 25 RBIs now. Second to Edmonds is 29. But right out there, and really not bad. You go out there, pitching coach says, hey, you know, quit trying to throw the ball on the corners. Just go out and get ahead of somebody. If you're the hitter, you be real quiet with your hands. You just look for a pitch and then try and take it right back up the middle. Exactly what Tino did.
16 RBIs in his last 18 games for Tino Martinez.
And that's 5-game hitting streak for him. So making up for lost ground. There you see the last 4 games, 417. Pair of home runs, 6 RBIs.
And it brings in Renteria. Made an error in the top half of the first. It's first and second, 1 out. And the Cardinals up 2-0 against Jimmy Haynes. 2-0. Haynes has been struggling. 2 base hits and 2 walks here in the first.
And for the most part, pitching behind everybody. Defensively, shading a little bit in the outfield to go to the opposite field, but they're pitching him inside.
Renteria into left. Adam Dunn, plenty of room. He'll get it back in. He's got a nice, strong throwing arm. That's the second out. And it's up to Placido Polanco. First inning runs, Jimmy Haynes, 8 allowed, and all 8 have been earned in 9 starts this season. That includes tonight.
And he's allowed 29 runs, 23 earned on the season.
Here's Polanco with 2 outs and 2 on. Picked up a home run yesterday, his first of the season, into the Reds bullpen. He has 10 RBIs. It'll take a 2-out hit. And Polanco looks at a strike. Martinez is at first. Edmonds at second. Placido is hitting .268. Houston will be in town tomorrow night. Be nice to be 2 in front of them. and just 3 back of Cincinnati with a victory here this evening. No balls, 2 strikes on Polanco.
This is the only game in the National League today.
Placido jammed a bit. Boone, did he get him? Got him. He got him at second. They get the force of Tino Martinez at second. Ryan Runge with that call. Tino Martinez, RBIs 24 and 25, and it's 2-0 Birds. Woody Williams back to work. Top of the second, Cardinals on top by the score of 2-0. Tino Martinez, an RBI base hit to score 2. And it's 2-0 Redbirds. Aaron Boone, who has been struggling, 1 for his last 19, will lead things off. Boone, Walker, and then LaRue. Boone is hitting an even 200. 2 balls and no strikes. Woody Williams, that first inning now, was able to pitch out of trouble, and now with a 2-0 lead, the way that he can pitch and dominate like he has been with the Cardinals, 2 may be enough. Even though it's so early, but that's how dominant he has been. There's a ground ball hit to short. Renteria settles it, throws 1 away. The 12th annual Christian Family Day has been scheduled for Saturday, June 15th, when the Cardinals take on the Royals. This year's post-game speakers will include Cardinals players J.D. Drew and Mike Matheny, and the Royals first baseman, a class act, Mike Sweeney. Christian music will be performed by Russ Lee. June 15th, that's a Saturday, 636-227-9788. 636-227-9788 for information and tickets for Christian Family Day.
And sometimes when you have a pitcher like Woody Williams, the offense kind of says, gets him a lead and says, okay, that's it, go shut him down. Other times, because they know that he is so good, they kind of sit there and they relax so much that they just keep on adding to the lead because they're not pushing, they're not pressing and trying to do too much.
First base hit against Woody tonight comes off the bat of Todd Walker. A 1-out base hit. And that'll bring in the catcher, Jason LaRue, a double play candidate.
Walker probably is one of their hotter hitters of late. Last 5 games coming in, he was 9 for 20, so make it 10 for 21. I mean, you hit one off of Casey's glove that Walker flagged down, and Walker just hit one by Beanie.
LaRue is only hitting .245. Corky Miller has started the last 2 games for Cincinnati behind the plate. And they were waiting for LaRue to take off offensively and hand him the job this year, but that has not happened. There's Corky Miller. His last at bat, he saw one high and tight from Dave Beers yesterday in the 9th.
And so Corky was swinging a little hot bat, was hitless yesterday. Jason comes back here and he only has 7 hits in his last 41 at bats.
No balls, 2 strikes. They've chased a couple of the balls. He's in the hole.
Woody has a tendency to be able to place the ball where he wants it and make some hitters look bad.
LaRue, no home runs, 9 RBIs to go along with his .245 batting average to start the year. Good play by Eli. Forgot just how good Woody Williams was, Al, at the end of last season. He was the September pitcher of the month, and down the stretch, 5-0, .94 ERA in his last 6 games. And in those 6 games, 3 complete games, a 2-hitter, a 3-hitter, and a 4-hitter.
And remember when he started completing games, and the other guys started kind of getting on the bandwagon and doing the same. Kyle and Morris.
There's a strikeout for Woody, his first on the night. 2 outs, and that'll bring in Jimmy Haynes, the pitcher. Don't forget, it's the show that's changing the face of sports television, the best damn sports show, period. Tonight, Jose Canseco drops by to name names and spill his guts with our guys. Plus, rock band Slayer is in studio to rock and roll and find out what the NBA GMs were thinking during the NBA draft lottery. Best damn sports show, period, tonight at 11. Jimmy Haynes fouls it back and into the seats.
There's something else that Woody Williams can do a lot better than most pitchers, and particularly his counterpart tonight. Swing the bat.
Yep. believe he's over a 200 hitter in his career.
Yeah, 213. And I think Tony La Russa called him the best hitting pitcher he's ever had. Not that long. Tony had pitchers in the National League, but quite a compliment.
Woody was in the cage yesterday and telling everyday players exactly where he was going to bunt it and stop the ball and spin it. It's like watching a golfer. It was amazing. Chopper left side. Easy play for Polanco. He can take his time. Red strand a man. They've left 3 after an inning and a half. The Cardinals coming up in their order. Marrero, Woody Williams, and Vina. 2-0 St. Louis. 2 hits on the night. One of those by Tino Martinez. A single up the middle to score 2. He now has 25 RBIs on the year. And this is our Nextel Direct Connect hit of the night. Comes early on off the bat of Tino. And it's 2-0 St. Louis. Edmonds and Pujols would come around to score. Bottom of the second, Eli Marrero, Woody Williams, and Fernando Vina. Jimmy Haynes had a rough start to this game. A pair of base hits he gave up. Also a couple of walks. One of those came around to score. That was to Pujols. And Eli looks at a strike. We had a chance to visit with Tony La Russa before the game. Our thanks to him on our pregame show. And he was delighted to read the quote from Eli in today's paper, the Post-Dispatch, about not going for the fences. And that's something that we've talked about a number of times, Al, is that he got off to the great start. He was hitting around 700, and he was disappointed that he wasn't hitting home runs. He was disappointed in himself. And when Mitchell Page heard that, Tony La Russa, they about gasped for air.
Yeah, and he promptly went into an 0 for 30, and so the quote was basically, "Oh, I don't swing for fences. That'd be 0 for 100."
Right.
Like that.
First strikeout for Jimmy Haynes, and that'll bring in Woody Williams.
And talks about not going for the fences, but that's a pretty big swing right there.
We were talking about Woody Williams being a very good hitting pitcher. He was a shortstop in college and a very good one. And here at Busch, he's 7 for 13, and that includes a double already this year.
Tell he enjoys swinging the bats, and we've said many a time he tried to drop down the bunt. And Tom Meade never listens to us, but Tony La Russa, ever since he came to the National League, has given his pitchers as much hitting time as the regulars. They get 40 minutes, whether it's at home or on the road.
Check swing. He went around, and a strikeout of Woody Williams. Number 2 in this inning, and number 2 on the night for Jimmy Haynes. What's on Tap is brought to you by Budweiser. With the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer, this Bud's for you. Tomorrow night and on Wednesday night. We'll come your way at 6:30 as the Cardinals wind down this 10-game homestand with Houston in town. Tomorrow and Wednesday will be televised 6:30 only here on the home of the Cardinals, Fox Sports Net. Joe Buck will be back with us. He has a charity golf tournament. They raised thousands of dollars last night.
$400,000 in the golf tournament.
And last night they had an auction at a local restaurant, and the kind of auction items they had were outstanding, but the people spending money had the kind of pockets to make some money.
Well, you can name it. Jay Bucks.
Jay Bucks was the host. Troy Aikman in town. Chris Collinsworth, among others. Jim Edmonds stopped by. Rush Limbaugh. Number of dignitaries. Here's Vina, who's 1 for 1 on the night, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Vina scored a run on the RBI base hit by Martinez back in the first.
Edmonds went to last night to meet Troy Aikman.
And buy his jersey, I understand.
Really? You know, and that's what's kind of fun is when you get athletes together that have such respect for athletes of other sports. It's kind of comical at times.
2-2 on Vina with nobody on and 2 outs. He'll call time. J.D. Drew is on deck. In May, he has been a hot man. 377.
Like 7s. 7 doubles.
Bean to try and slow up Jimmy Haynes, who had a couple of strikeouts already in this inning. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pulled foul. The starting pitchers for the Cincinnati Reds have been the story of their start. No one expected this kind of start, and they've gotten outstanding pitching. 26 games prior to yesterday, they were 18-8, and in 17 of those 26 games, they allowed 3 runs or fewer. That's it. Pena held up, full count. Bob Boone called up Carlos Almanzar, who was the closer at Louisville, the AAA affiliate. He wanted a 12th pitcher on their roster, and he gets it because they're in a stretch in which they don't have many days off.
Sent out Mateo, young outfielder. Cardinals bullpen still has more wins than the starters. 12-10. And hopefully there'll be 11 wins for the starters after tonight.
Woody Williams is looking for victory number 1 here tonight. Full count on Pena with 2 outs. And Pena goes the opposite way. Back goes Dunn. Nonchalant. He has it. And a 1-2-3 inning for the right-hander Jimmy Haynes. We played 2 innings here at Busch Stadium. Top of the order, Larkin, Encarnacion, and Casey coming up for Cincinnati. Top of the 3rd here in St. Louis, and the Cardinals on top by the score of 2-0. Coming up tonight, after our final out here at Busch, it's the Midwest Sports Report with Rob King and Pat Paris. Jason Simon Tachi will make a start tomorrow. We'll go one-on-one with him. The stadium follow-up. What's next? And a complete post-game wrap-up here from Busch, all coming up tonight on the Midwest Sports Report. Top of the order, Larkin, Encarnacion, and Sean Casey. Larkin is 0 for 1 on the night. A line out to short. And we're set to go here in the 3rd. Cardinals have a couple of hits. The only hit for Cincinnati last inning off the bat of Todd Walker. Woody Williams is set. So is Larkin. Here it comes. It's a ball inside. Woody Williams, Al, came up in 93 with Toronto, but did not get a chance to taste postseason play. Left off that roster, and that's why he wanted to get back there before his career was over with. 1-1. He made the most of his opportunity a year ago. Picked up a win in the division series against Arizona.
And chomping at the bit after the rib cage injury. Get back and make the contribution.
2-1. Mentioned that Simon Tachi will throw tomorrow in the series opener against the Astros. That'll be his 3rd big league start, and he'll be working on 10 days rest. Last time he started was against these Reds. That was in Cincinnati. So 10 days rest for Simon Tachi. Larkin fouls it into the seats. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Should be a good pitching pairings for that Astros series. Simon Tachi against Carlos Hernandez, Darryl Kyle, Roy Oswalt, who's 5-2, and Matt Morris against Shane Reynolds on Thursday afternoon. And we're off to Pittsburgh and Houston on the next road trip. Larkin pops it up. Pena has it on a 2-2 delivery. And there's 1 out here in the top of the 3rd. This day in baseball history is brought to you by Snooks. Back in 1920, Chicago police, dressed as soldiers and farmers, raid the Wrigley Field bleachers, arresting 24 Cub fans for gambling. May 20th, 1920, brought to you by Snooks. This day in baseball history.
I want to see this resource book.
Where do they come up with this stuff? Have you heard of any of this stuff that we talk about?
Some of the new security measures with police officers in the dugout now.
He's
And
smart. He's right by the heater.
No, he's not.
It's cold.
Yeah, but those heaters put out some fumes that make you so nauseous.
Really?
Yeah. They're kerosene heaters, and they, you get too close to them, you get a little sick.
1 ball, 1 strike. I had no idea. There you go, Al.
See, I feel warmer already.
You've got the lights literally on your feet up here in the booth.
On my legs. And my legs are hot.
You're going to feel like it's a bullpen when we put a stick of gum under there, light a match, start lighting your shoes on fire.
You know what? Nobody did that to me in the bullpen.
Because you'd probably go off and kill them.
That's, well, I would try
to kill them.
Kill them. I've seen guys crawl under benches to give the hot puts, and I've seen some nasty burns from guys that have received them. But I always never mess with my equipment, and I won't mess with yours. Don't mess with mine.
Here's Sean Casey with 2 outs, nobody on in the 3rd. Who's the best prankster in that bullpen that you had a chance to play with?
Ken Rudolph was, bullpen catcher. With Simmons, you may get 2 starts a year. But, he was pretty good. But some of the guys are just
outrageous.
When guys would take your glove and then pour dirt in it, that's, you want to play this game. You can have fun down there for 3 or 4 innings or something, but at some point you got to go to work.
2-1 on Casey. Reached on an error his first time up back in the 1st. 2-0 Cardinals. Tina Martinez an RBI base hit to plate 2. The 2-1 from Woody. 3-1. The cleanup man Austin Kearns on deck. Casey has hit over 300 the last 3 years. He's only 27 out of New Jersey.
Lifetime .311 hitter coming into this season.
They call him the mayor. You find out why when you have a chance to meet him. There's a drive into left center. Edmonds has room and makes the play on the run near the track. A 1-2-3 inning for Woody Williams. We'll move to the bottom of the 3rd. Here in St. Louis, Cardinals on top 2-0. This portion of Cardinal baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Auto Tire. For the very best in tires and service, you ought to go to Auto Tire. By Aflac. Ask about it at work. And by Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people, Advance Auto Parts. Beautiful night here in downtown St. Louis, Busch Stadium. The Cardinals continue their 10-game homestand. This is game number 4 of a 4-game set against the Cincinnati Reds. J.D. Drew, Albert Pujols, and Jim Edmonds. Here in the bottom of the 3rd, 2-0 Cardinals.
Cardinals playing good baseball on this homestand. They're 5-1. Swept the Cubs and taken 2 of 3 from Cincinnati. Have a 2-0 lead here tonight.
Here's J.D. Drew. Looks at a breaking ball strike from Jimmy Haynes, who had a rough first inning. And he gave up a pair of hits and a pair of walks. The second hit was to Tino Martinez, and that drove in 2, and that's where we stand here in the 3rd. Quickly 0-2.
Second base umpire trying to move to accommodate the center fielder.
No balls, 2 strikes on J.D.
There they are. He was playing, positioning himself, second base umpire, directly in front of Juan Encarnacion.
That's your favorite name to pronounce, isn't it?
It's one that I have had trouble with.
2-2. You were right. I was looking at some of the stats that Encarnacion had against the Cardinals last year in interleague play. He tore up Cardinals pitching. Played very well against the Redbirds. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. JD is 0 for 2. That'll bring in Albert Pujols. 3 strikeouts for the right-hander Jimmy Haynes. Here's that 12-6.
He's got that good breaking ball that blocked JD. Kind of swung awkwardly and late. He struck out 3 of the last 4 batters he's faced.
Haynes had a strained oblique muscle in late August that really cut into his season and resulted in a few disastrous outings. He was rushed back in late September by Milwaukee, and Pujols is hit by the pitch. He'll take first. Second time he has been aboard after a walk in the first. But Jimmy Haynes was not effective for Milwaukee, and they were expecting big things from him a few years back.
17 games a year ago, and you see trying to pitch inside, just nicks Albert ever so slightly, but you're digging a hole when you get the next 3 or 4 Cardinal batters coming up.
Here's Edmonds, who walked his first time up. 3rd in the National League in his batting mark. On base percentage is in the top 3. Slugging percentage top 5. Edmonds goes the opposite way. Adam Dunback looking up, get gone. It is home run Edmonds. 2-run shot. Number 10. 31 RBIs on the year. And it's 4-0 Redbirds.
Jim talked about it frequently with J.D. Drew. He's not going to be a complete hitter, and the qualitative hitter that everyone thinks he will be until he starts doing what Jim can do. Both of them have enough power to go to the opposite field. Jimmy does it consistently. J.D. shell. There's that hanging breaking ball out away from him. Waits back on it extremely well and pulls the trigger and guides it out that way.
Tino off of Haynes. Gathers and throws. That's a great play by the pitcher. Let's see if he's okay. May have been off his throwing arm too. For the second out, Tino ripped it back up the middle. He's 1 for 2 on the night. It looks like his glove hand, Al.
Now wait and watch. Just a BB. The first one, a 2-run RBI, got out there, knocks the glove off his hand. He comes up and throws the ball there, but I don't know if he got on the hand or if he got more in the palm of the hand. But that was hit as hard, if not harder, than Edmonds' home run.
357 feet off the bat of Jim Edmonds to make it 4-0. Let's go back to it the opposite way. Here's Edmonds.
Hanging breaking ball, and Jim likes the ball up. He waited extremely well and then just pulled the trigger that way. 10th home run of the year, 31 RBIs. On the year, and see how he's spreading it out. But see, the thing what I'm talking about, Jim getting the ball to left and the center. That's how how you really master hitting. And JD's more still in this pull conscious, where he doesn't trust himself, and he's so quick with his bat that he doesn't need to pull pitches.
2-0 on the Cardinals shortstop Renteria. Edmonds now with those 31 RBIs is 6th in the National League. He's tied with Luis Gonzalez of Arizona and 1 behind Cliff Floyd of Florida. League leader, we'll see him tomorrow, is Lance Berkman of Houston. He has 42 RBIs and 15 home runs.
Like Lance, first time I saw him out of Rice University. He's a hitter.
He's showing that he can play center field a little bit too.
Yeah, but I mean he can power, numbers and production are up there, but so's his average.
Full count on Renteria. His father was a coach of his growing up, and a big reason why he is, and he'll tell you, in the major leagues and able to switch hit and do the different things that he can do. Three-two delivery. Off the plate, Aaron Boone makes the play over to Sean Casey. Well, Jim Edmonds has doubled the Cardinals' lead. A home run, his 10th. Now 31 RBIs. It's 4-0 St. Louis. Jim Edmonds, his 10th home run, has given the Cardinals a 4-0 lead. As we move to the 4th. Hey kids, on Friday, June 14th, the Cardinals play the Royals. It's Merrimack Caverns night here at the ballpark. All fans 11 and under with a paid admission receive a coupon good for admission for a cave tour and boat ride courtesy of Merrimack Caverns. 421-3060 or stlcardinals.com. 4-0 lead. You know, Woody Williams will be aggressive like he always is, Al.
People know how to mentally pitch with a lead.
Kearns, Dunn, and Boone for the Reds. Kearns was hit by the pitch back in the first. Was left stranded. The Reds have left 3 on the night, trail it by 4.
He's going to be hit by a lot of pitches in his career because he dives into a lot of balls.
2-1. Jim Edmonds, 31 RBIs, 10 home runs. And the steal of the century made by Walt Jocketty, Kent Bottenfield, and Adam Kennedy for Jim Edmonds. Highway robbery. Before it's all said and done, it may go down as one of the best deals the Cardinals have ever made.
And a complete player. You know, Gold Glove caliber outfield. You know, 300 in power production numbers from his bat. And really has been a model citizen.
Kearns strikes out. And for Woody Williams, that is strikeout number 2 on the night. One out here in the 4th. We turn to our Aflac trivia question on this beautiful night in downtown St. Louis at Busch Stadium. Well, we'll get to it later, we understand. A little problem in the truck. Still is a beautiful night, though, Al.
If you're a Penguin,
it's a little chilly. Game time temperature was 61 here in downtown St. Louis. It is going to drop into the low to mid 40s before it's all said and done. 1 ball, 1 strike on Adam Dunn.
It'll be someday in late July or August. We're going to be dreaming about this weather.
Two and one on Dunn, who had a combined 51 home runs between the major leagues and the minor leagues last year. He was the minor league player of the year. And he is here to stay with the Cincinnati Reds. 2 balls and a strike.
I can see why the Reds are real excited. Move into their new stadium next season. Dunn, Kearns, and Griffey. Now Boone can't wait to have that. Can't wait to get Griffey back. And that could happen when they return home or shortly thereafter.
Full count on Dunn. Ken Griffey Jr. Al came over the same year that Edmonds got to St. Louis, and Brett Tomko was part of that deal, and Mike Cameron was part of that deal, and he's proven to be an outstanding player for the Seattle Mariners.
And you never can judge a trade on a couple years, but if you were to judge the trade because of Griffey's injuries, Cameron has been a much better player.
No doubt. And Edmonds a much better player here in St. Louis.
Yeah, and there's no doubt Jimmy is a Gold Glove performer over Griffey.
The 3-2 is low and in. Williams didn't get the call, and that's his first walk that he is allowed. Well, tomorrow the Cardinals take the field when they take on Jeff Bagwell and the Astros. Coverage begins at 6:30 only here on the home of the Cardinals, Fox Sports Net. Cardinals tonight at 6:30, then Joe and Al will come your way with Cardinals baseball. Our best wishes to Mr. Buck.
I'll echo those.
Yep.
Along with everybody in Cardinal Nation.
You got it. Here's Aaron Boone. Little looper into right coming on is Drew. He won't get there. That'll drop right in front of him. Adam Dunn will stop at second. First and second with one out. Let's try that trivia again. Name the only 2 players in Major League history to hit 5 home runs in a doubleheader.
I know one.
Me too. That's our Affleck trivia question for tonight. And we will answer that in the bottom half.
You know what? If I'm not mistaken, that was Jack Buck's first 2 games in the major leagues.
I think you might be right.
Came up from Rochester to broadcast those games in Brooklyn.
Stan the man. Here is Todd Walker. First and second, one out. Dunn is at second. And Aaron Boone is at first. He's 1 for 2 on the night, and time is called. Reds have just 2 hits on the night. Here we are in the top of the 4th, and it's 4-0 Cardinals. Talking about Edmonds, Al, the one thing that he still has to prove is just being consistent an entire season. By the end, the numbers will be there where he hits over 300 and 30 home runs, 100 RBIs, but he seems not to disappear, but the consistency isn't there. It's either very high or very low.
I remember when, I know what you're saying, McGuire got hurt, he tailed off the second half.
Right.
Last season, he tailed off the first half and just had a phenomenal second half to get his numbers very, very respectable. More than respectable, another tremendous year. Career high in RBIs.
With his leadership on this team specifically as opposed to the other 2, you think about MVP. He is capable of doing that, no doubt. 1 and 2 on Walker, who was backing away from that last pitch.
You see, you don't often get that pitch. Morero does a nice job to frame it. And what reason I say that is Morero set up outside. The ball was on the inner part of the plate. Usually when you don't hit the glove or you hit it that poorly, you don't get the call. Chuck Merriweather called it correctly, though. And he was right over the inside shoulder, so the ball was right there. He could see it.
Just looks deceiving with the catcher on the outside part of the plate.
Yes.
But you're right. It was a strike, no doubt.
And sometimes Eli, catches the ball a little awkward, too. He doesn't catch it all the time, where he's squared up.
Count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Walker at 296 last year as their leadoff man after a trade in which he came over from the Rockies. Started his career in Minnesota. Was an outstanding college player at LSU. Hit over 400 as a true freshman for the Tigers. Here's a 2-2. He taps it towards short. Renteria's only play is to first, 2 away. Runners will move up. And it's up to Jason LaRue. You've got the pitcher Jimmy Haynes on deck and first base is open. If you get to that situation where you want to walk him.
That I'm sure. And Morero is going to remind Woody. Woody's so much into this game, it's just a reminder. Don't have to tell him anything, but tell him that there is a base open. And I think knowing the competitor that Woody is, his mindset is we're going to go after the 8th place hitter. We're going to retire him, and then we'll have 1/3 of the 5th out of the way.
Yep.
But if LaRue doesn't accommodate them and you fall behind the count, that is an option.
2 outs, 2 on. Breaking ball misses outside. LaRue, his first time up, struck out. Woody Williams, 15-9 a year ago. ERA over 4. He had career highs in wins, strikeouts, and innings pitched for the Redbirds and San Diego. There's a strike, 1-1. Part of the Ray Langford deal. As we mentioned before, that trade was made for this season also, Al. Kind of an exchange of salary, so to speak, for both teams, and just trying to move each player to give them a fresh start.
Yeah, and Woody and I was out in Arizona during early part of spring training, and I talked to Bruce Bochy. I said, were you surprised that Woody pitched as well? And he said, no, I really wasn't. But said, we're very happy with Ray Langford. That was in spring training. I've heard reports that things have not been going that well and that they're a little, disappointed in Ray not being more productive. Cardinals couldn't be happier with Woody.
Yep. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Woody has a couple of strikeouts here tonight. One of Austin Kearns, the other of the man at the plate, LaRue. Here's the 2-2. Tap foul.
And Woody has the personality where maybe got a lot of silent leaders on this ball club. But he's one of the ones that can be more vocal, and
he's real vocal.
Yeah, and can be, get in your face, challenge you a little bit. And you need that type. You need that type too.
Cool night, it doesn't matter with the Bud Light here, Al.
Doesn't matter with a truck.
Ball gets away, but kept in front by Eli, and a check swing was called a ball as they appealed it down at first, and Ted Barrett said LaRue did not go around, so full count.
And you can be the judge.
It's a good call. Now you've got a 3-2 count with the pitcher on deck, and first base is open with 2 men on. And LaRue pops it up. The pitcher will be left to lead off next inning. Bina has it. The Reds have stranded a couple. In this inning, 5 on the night. Edmonds a home run, Tino 2 RBIs, 4-0 Redbirds. Let's answer our Affleck trivia question for tonight. Name the only 2 players in Major League history to hit 5 home runs in a doubleheader. One of them Stan the Man back in 1954, and Nate Colbert in 1972. And Nate Colbert, I understand, Al, is a St. Louisan, right?
Right. Haven't heard anything about him for a while, but seemed like he was an ordained minister after his playing career.
Here's Polanco, bottom of the 4th, 4-0 Cardinals. Placido tonight is grounded out on a forced play at second to end the first. He's 0 for 1. This is the man that Tony La Russa really wants to see get going and establish himself as the kind of hitter that we've seen the last 2 years.
Oh, he has not performed like he did the last couple years, but Tony was encouraging today after some of his batting practice sessions. I said, Petekaye with his home run. He goes, no, Linea,
Yep.
base hits.
2-2. Polanco, Marrero, and Woody Williams for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the 4th. Cardinals got 2 in the first against Jimmy Haynes on a base hit by Tino Martinez that plated Edmonds and Pujols, and then a 2-run home run, number 10 on the year by Edmonds last inning. And Polanco gets into this one. Left field, done back, and has it for the first out. Just got under it for out number 1. If you'd like to win Cardinals tickets and participate in the Southwest Airlines Family of the Game promotion during a Cardinals home game, here is your chance, Cardinal fans. Send your name, address, and phone number to Southwest Airlines Family of the Game, P.O. Box 771192, St. Louis, Missouri 63177. Good luck from the Cardinals and Southwest Airlines. Haynes has struck out 3 on the night. Marrero, one of those victims. He's 0 for 1 and looks at a strike. Polanco is 0 for 2. Houston is in town tomorrow night. Simon Tachi will make the start for St. Louis on 10 days rest. Pitch count for Jimmy Haynes is getting up there after a long first inning. 58 already.
He's had trouble in the first and third innings. The second and 1 out here in the 4th have been good.
Tapped off the plate. He'll make this close. Boone. Got him. That's a good play by Aaron Boone on the speedy Eli Marrero. And to be quick on the exchange, and it looked like he even bobbled it a little bit there, Al.
Right off the plate, but that big swing delays your effort to get out of the batter's box, and that might have been the difference. So Aaron Boone struggling offensively. See, when it reached in there, he kind of looked like he got out on his fingertips and really didn't have a good grip on it, but he's played very well defensively, and that's what keeps him in the lineup.
Here's Woody Williams, struck out his first time up. He's 0 for 1.
That and his mother.
Yep.
Orders dad, his manager, to play.
No batting gloves, no sleeves for Woody Williams on a cool night here at Busch.
Woody's first time up is the worst at bat we've ever seen him swing. This is more of it. Doesn't go anyplace, but he takes his hats.
He was jammed a bit. 1-2-3 inning for Jimmy Haynes. We played 4 here at Busch Stadium. Big crowd on hand. The Cardinals trying to take 3 of 4. They're up 4-0. Cardinal fans, get to your quality Ford dealer and check out the great deals on the built Ford Tough F-Series trucks. Now up to $2,500 cash back or 0.9% APR financing. As there's a fly ball off the bat of Jimmy Haynes for out number 1. And no cost bedliner on F-Series. Ford, the official car and truck of the St. Louis Cardinals. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the top of the 5th, and it's 4-0. Redbirds on top. Jimmy Haynes is 0 for 2. That'll bring in the top of the order, and Barry Larkin. Then an Encarnacion, if anybody can reach Sean Casey. You're talking about Bob Boone, Al. The Boones are only one of 3 generation baseball families. The Bells and the Hairstons, the other 2. You've got Aaron Boone playing tonight. Brother Brett, who played in Cincinnati, is now with Seattle after a monster year a year ago with the Mariners. And they have another brother, Matthew, who plays in the Tigers organization in the minor leagues.
I played against all 3 of the fathers. Not the grandfathers, but all 3 of the fathers in the big leagues.
Bob Boone was a heck of a catcher, wasn't he?
He was an outstanding defensive catcher. Every time you would play him, in almost every game, he would experiment with a new batting stance.
Well, thanks to Mike Shannon on the pregame show. Great interview with the manager, the skipper, Bob Boone of the Cincinnati Reds. He played with some great players in his day.
Not sure if Bob Boone didn't have the all-time most games caught in the National League by a catcher.
He did. Fisk is the all-timer. You're correct. Many years in Philadelphia, came up, I believe, in '72 with the Phillies. And Mike Shannon asked him about the best pitcher he caught. And there's Aaron Boone, his son, who he said he'll bench at any time, as they were laughing during that interview. But he talked about Steve Carlton as just being dominating. He caught Don Sutton and Tug McGraw. He caught a perfect game. Played with Rod Carew and Reggie Jackson as he was in Anaheim for a while. He was behind the plate for Hank Aaron's number 700. And he also played against Willie Mays and Joe Torre. He played against some unbelievable players. Those are the ones that he mentioned prior to the game.
Every one of them.
Yep. 3 strikeouts on the night for Woody Williams. He did not like that last ball call. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, 72 is the year the Cardinals traded exchange pitchers.
Right.
You know, with trouble signing pitchers, Carlton and Rick Wise. And you could see that young Phillies ball club with Schmidt, Lazinski, Boa, all those guys like that. The day that Lefty pitched was the day that they said, hey, this is where we're going to be 3 or 4 years from now. And, you know, he won 27 ball games that year. They played lights out for him. And then in about 3 or 4 years, they were one of the best teams in the National League and the Eastern Division, which Cardinals were a member of.
2 balls, 2 strikes here on Encarnacion, who is homered in this series. What's coming next, Al?
Fastball in.
He's jammed a bit and fouls it away. And Bob Boone was saying that the best he has ever caught, without question, is Steve Carlton. And when he came over to Philadelphia, he had no idea. He had faced him, but he could not believe just how good he really was until he got behind the plate. And Boone did come up in 72 with Philadelphia. Spent time in California and also finished his career in Kansas City. Base hit for Encarnacion on a 2-2 pitch. That's just the third hit on the night for Cincinnati. That'll bring in Sean Casey with 2 down. Best Damn Sports Show is coming up tonight here on Fox Sports Net. It'll come your way at 11. On tonight's program, Jose Canseco will tell all. Slayer rocks the house, and inside the NBA draft lottery. All those guests and more coming up tonight on the Best Damn Sports Show, period. Got to be able to do better than Slayer. But I work for the network and I'm promoting it, and I can't wait to watch it.
It'd be interesting to listen to Mr. Canseco, who's going to tell it all, tell all the truth from his perspective. That's what people have to bear in mind.
Slightly tainted, as it might be.
Well, because we saw Canseco in spring training. He says he's been blackballed from the major leagues. He doesn't have major league skills anymore. And that was apparent watching him play in spring training.
Well, the one thing he couldn't do for sure is play defense right now. So then you say, okay, what about DHing? Well, he didn't hit either.
Right. I mean, he hit 200 or under. Another quick throw. I asked Tony one time, you know, a couple years ago about him. You know, would you ever consider him? He said, no, you can't play defense. Where are you going to play him?
It would have been fun, though, to see Canseco and McGuire back-to-back wearing a Cardinal uniform. And make sure it's Jose, not his brother.
Ozzie.
That sliced down the line and into the seats.
You know, when I had a teammate with the Atlanta Braves named Bob Watson. And in the, well, I guess probably the mid-'80s, somewhere 83 to 84, somewhere in that version, Bob Watson was a roving minor league hitting coach for the Oakland A's. And he told me about 2 guys that were in Double-A. I think it was Huntsville or something like that. He said, wait till you see these guys. They're monsters. And of course, he was talking about Canseco and McGuire.
The Bash brothers. 1 ball, 1 strike on Sean Casey with 2 down. There's a base hit into right. Encarnacion will stop at second. 2 consecutive base hits with 2 outs here in the 5th inning for the Cincinnati Reds. Canseco will be on the ballot, the Hall of Fame ballot, with Mark McGuire, Cal Ripken, and Tony Gwynn, which many would consider to be, if not the best ever, among the best of all time. You think about the first ballot ever, that's got to be one of the best. Think about George Brett, Robin Yount, Nolan Ryan. Dale Murphy was also on that same ballot, that class. That's another great one. But this one coming up, the one that just retired a year ago, is outstanding. There's a shot up the middle. Edmonds coming on. 1 hopper to him. They'll test him. The throw to the plate. He is out at the plate. Four Gold Gloves for Jim Edmonds. Also a home run tonight. 4-0 St. Louis. 4-0. He's got a 2-run home run and also this 1 hopper to the plate. That is assist number 5 for the 4-time Gold Glover. He has won 2 in his first 2 years here in St. Louis. A second look shows that Encarnacion may have been safe, but we're going to show you, Al, Encarnacion rounding third in a second.
Well,
and what is he doing here?
Well, remember on Saturday, he did the same thing. He was safe. He's looking back. He has no business doing that. That slows you down to the plate. And then he looked like he didn't know how to slide. As he really didn't slide, he kind of slowed down and his feet went out from underneath him. He probably was safe who went to the legs, but the difference is by looking back, you slow down your forward progress and this time he's out.
Encarnacion gunned down. Vina, by the way, is 1 for 3 with a run scored, and here it is.
Now look at, when you're running like this, you pick up your third base coach. He tells you to come home. So look at home plate. Anticipate whether you need to slide or not. Don't look around to see if there's going to be a play. And this is what I'm talking about. Look at the funny. He was caught in between. Do I run him over? Do I slide? And he really didn't slide. He just kind of slowed down. His feet went out from underneath him.
That was the same type of slide, too, that he had the other day.
Was it?
Yeah. Great work by our crew, Tom Mee and Doug Stanton.
Great camera work.
Kent Samuel. Good job. 1 ball, 1 strike on J.D. Drew with 1 out.
4 gold gloves for Edmonds, and he's 1-2 wearing the Cardinal uniform. He's definitely a Pennzoil protection play, isn't he?
Yep, our Pennzoil protection play of the game. We're driving protection. That protects a 4-0 lead for St. Louis. A ball and 2 strikes on the right fielder, J.D. Drew, who's 0 for 2 tonight. Who struck out his last time up. Looks at a ball, 2-2. How many times, though, do we point out throughout the summer, Al, runners not picking up their third base coach or doing a mistake like Encarnacion just did, as Drew strikes out for the second time tonight, number 4 for Jimmy Haynes. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just things where if you make it easy on yourself, don't make mental mistakes. Those coaches are out there, you know, they're making the decisions for you.
Pujols has been on twice. He walked and was hit by a pitch, and he scored twice. Came around on the base hit back in the first by Tino Martinez at plate at 2, and the home run by Jim Edmonds, a 2-run shot. That's where we stand here in the 4th, or rather the 5th, and it's 4-0 St. Louis. Albert a drive into deep left field. How far is this one gonna go? Albert Pujols, a bomb into left. That's number 7. And it's 5-0 St. Louis.
Trying to get a ball inside on him. Remember last time he was hit by a pitch inside, so Albert kind of playing the waiting game, kind of waiting to see that pitch inside, and he got it and knew what to do with it. 7th home run, 2nd one on this homestand. The only 2 he's hit at home. Ball up, out over the plate, didn't get it far enough in.
Number 7 for Pujols, RBI number 24, and it's 5-0. Redbirds on top. Here's Edmonds, who is homered here tonight. He has 10. Pujols has 7. Boy, that ball was crushed by Albert. 2 home runs in this game. And here's Edmonds. Walker will have to charge and makes the play. Cardinals add to their 4-0 lead. It's now 5-0. Albert Pujols crushes it. That's number 7. 5-0 after 5. This inning for Cincinnati, the top of the 6th. It'll be Adam Dunn, Aaron Boone, and Todd Walker. If anybody can reach, then Jason LaRue, the number 8 man in the order. Dunn slaps that foul.
Keep an eye on Woody here. Last inning, they had 3 consecutive base hits. And the 3rd and final out came on the great throw by Jim Edmonds. 86 pitches. He went 96 his first time.
That surprised everybody.
Well, you know, Woody said he felt really good and really talked Tony La Russa into letting him pitch the 6th inning. And then he had a very troublesome inning, but you know, he just battled right through it and shut him out for another one.
Here's a 2-2. Struck him out. Adam Dunn caught looking. He's 0 for 2 on the night. Strikeout number 4 for Woody Williams.
There, Marrero set up outside, paints the outside corner.
Cardinals have outscored Cincinnati in the last 14 innings, 15-1. It was a 10-1 win yesterday. It's 5-0 here tonight. Here's Aaron Boone. And something that Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan can do, Al, is that when Woody Williams comes and talks to you and says, I feel good enough to go back out there and pitch, or I feel good enough to face this man in a dangerous spot, you listen to him. With Garrett Stevenson, this is not knocking Garrett, but yesterday he wanted to stay in the game, and they felt it was best that he come out But Garrett has been battling through a much more serious injury trying to come back than Woody.
Right. And remember, Woody had no rehab starts. Garrett had one, but he only pitched 4 innings in that ball game. And like you said, Garrett doesn't have the experience of being a complete game pitcher like Woody either.
2 outs here in the 6th. Aaron Boone is 1 for 3. That brings in Todd Walker with 2 outs and nobody on. Hey, Cardinal fans, on Tuesday, June 18th, the Cardinals play the Anaheim Angels. It's AMC Theaters Player Action Photo Night. All fans 15 and under with a paid admission receive an action photo featuring Gold Glover Jim Edmonds, the former Angel. Again, that'll be Tuesday, June 18th. The Cards face the Anaheim Angels. 421-3060 or log on to stlcardinals.com and get your tickets. Here's Walker. There's a strike. Simon Tachi will make the start tomorrow on 10 days rest for St. Louis. Against Carlos Hernandez, who is 4-1. Cardinals will see Hernandez, Roy Oswalt, and then Shane Reynolds. So good pitching coming at the Redbirds the next 3 days.
Carlos Almanzar, who just is recalled from AAA, is out in the bullpen in case his inning gets extended.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Walker with the catcher LaRue, then Jimmy Haynes. Walker is grounded out to short and has a base hit into right. Swing and a miss, a strikeout. Woody Williams has 5 on the night and 2 here in this 6th inning. He responds after that rough 5th emphatically with a couple of strikeouts in a 1-2-3 inning. He played 5.5, and it's 5-0 Birds. Comes with 4 doors and $3,000 cash back or 0.9% APR financing. WinStar's quadruple 5-star safety rating comes at no extra cost. Ford, the official car and truck of the St. Louis Cardinals. Redbirds have just 4 hits, but a couple of home runs. 1 off the bat of Pujols, a solo shot, the other by Jim Edmonds, a 2-run home run. And the other RBI supplied by this man, Tino Martinez. He has 2 of them. Average is climbing up now. It's above 200. It's at 218, and he's 1 for 2 on the night.
Very easily it could be 2 for 2.
Took a good play by the pitcher, Jimmy Haynes, to knock it down.
Yeah, bases loaded, 2-run single, the first time right up the middle, and then right through the pitcher. And here's another hit.
He's 2 for 3. You can just see it. He looks more comfortable at the plate, Al.
Well, I think a lot of it just has to do with the fact he's been pressing so much. And there was an article in the paper today that the author totally misinterpreted a comment that Tino said. Everybody's been coming to him and talking about, you got a slow bat. What about this? What about? A player doesn't want to hear that stuff. If you want to, and he basically said, if you want to rip me, but don't be coming to me every day asking the silly questions that I really don't need to answer. And it's just a reflection of the pride that he has in his own ability. It's just somebody not knowing what they're talking about.
2-0 on Renteria. Martinez has hit safely in 8 of his last 9 games. And his average in those 9 games above 300. Also has knocked in 3 home runs. 11 RBIs. Renteria, deep right center field. Encarnacion back, can't get it. To the wall it goes. Martinez being waved home. The relay to the plate. Here it comes. He is safe at the plate. And it's 6-0 St. Louis.
He had a tremendous jump. Of course, he could see the height of the ball and where the center fielder was, and knew he wasn't going to catch it. When that ball got over the head, he was well on his way to rounding second base. High fastball up in the zone, over the head of the center fielder, and he had a great jump. Watch him pick it up. He takes off and knows he couldn't get it. So now he picks up his coach. This is how you properly do. We send you home, you look to home. You don't look over your shoulder. And then he slides in there, touches home plate because he didn't get it first time through.
And that looks like it's going to be all for Jimmy Haynes, and a double switch will be coming. Todd Walker is now moving towards the Reds dugout, the second baseman, and he was the man in the order that made the final out in the top half of the sixth. So a double switch upcoming here for Bob Boone. The RBI for Renteria. That's number 23. Tino Martinez scores from first base on a ball hit in the right center field gap. Cardinals 6 hits and a 6-0 lead. Bottom of the sixth, nobody out. A pair of base hits for the Cardinals. It started with a single by Tino Martinez, and then the RBI double by Edgar Renteria for his 23rd RBI to make it 6-0 St. Louis. Let's talk about the base running yet again, Al, and this is how you do it on the right, not how you do it on the left.
Now we see Encarnacion. He's going to turn and look over his shoulder to see what the outfield play is, and Tino's got his head focused on his next base, which is home plate.
Let's hope that Renteria is okay. Tony La Russa, along with Barry Weinberg, now have trotted out onto the field near that third base area, and Renteria is going to take himself out, it looks like.
Well, you know what? Remember earlier he's kind of looking with his eyes, and it's the same thing again. So I don't know if he's getting a little dizzy or got something there, but maybe not feeling well. It's hard to say. He didn't see the ball when he smoked it out into right center.
So Renteria is going to take himself out. Let's hope he is okay.
And he's a tough kid, so
yes.
There's something a little bit.
Let's watch and take a look if anything funky happens here.
I don't think so. I think it's just something where where he's got some blurred vision or something. Remember on the air?
Yeah, he was holding his left eye, or at least rubbing it. Yeah, there's nothing there, and it looked like, you're right, Al, when he was leaving the field that he was rubbing his face in that eye area yet again. So Renteria will exit after the RBI double.
Jerry Robinson could put Polanco at shortstop. Pujols back into third base, and Terry out in right.
New pitcher in for Cincinnati, as Polanco will have an RBI opportunity. He will face Carlos Almanzar, who was the closer for AAA Louisville for the Cincinnati Reds. He had 9 saves. And he's part of a double switch. Into the game is Wilton Guerrero. He'll take over at second with the infield drawn in for the Reds. Nobody out here in the sixth, and the first pitch is lined into center field. Encarnacion settles. He'll gun to the plate. He's got a nice strong arm and a one-hopper right to LaRue. And Polanco misses an RBI opportunity. Out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out. And it's up to Marrero with 1 out. Woody Williams on deck, and now Eduardo Perez has moved to the on-deck circle, so it looks like that could be it and will be it for Woody Williams.
I think that's a wise decision.
Up 6-0. His pitch count is now probably over 90.
Mike Timlin, bullpen has been so good of late, but I think you really have to sit there and say, Woody, you've done a great job, and why don't you just take the night off and let the guys continue?
That's popped up out of play and into the seats as LaRue will give it a look. Infield is still drawn in with 1 out here in the sixth, and a 6-0 Cardinal lead. Marrero tonight is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out to third. Williams is done. He pitches 6 strong innings for St. Louis.
At the infield in for Marrero, and golden opportunity to pick up an easy RBI. Danny, I think it's your day of reckoning.
Why is that, Al?
Why is that? Because you've been making these wisecracks about Kelly Chase.
You've been setting me up. Kelly Chase is in our booth here. And no, it is not celebrity night. No balls and a strike on Eli Marrero. Not to say that he's not a celebrity.
See, Kelly, it's things like that. He's not saying you're a celebrity, and little things like that,
And we'll give him a, you know what, you're a broadcaster
now that he's a broadcaster, you can handle one of those things.
Those things do work,
Yeah, these things fit, too, and everything.
1 ball, 1 strike, a ball inside on Eli Marrero. How you doing, Chaser?
I'm doing well.
Disappointed, I guess, with the Blues, right? The way that that all finished.
Well, you would have liked to have gone a little bit farther, and especially with the excitement of that other series. I know they're going fire into overtime again.
Now, there's a nasty rumor that Gary,
It's not a rumor. It's
Gary
fact.
Robinson
Well, it's fact.
faked
He
you
undressed
out.
Chaser
Yeah.
on the ice.
Now be careful. You say that.
I said on the ice.
I gotta be honest with you. He can fly. This guy, you know. Al, I know you were one of the tough ball players, and I give you guys a rap of being a little bit soft once in a while. You know, this guy isn't soft. He can skate. He grinds it out. Elbows. He's a little chippy player.
3 balls and a strike on Eli Marrero.
and apparently a very good hockey player at the high school level here.
Yeah, I heard that. And so he gets out to the media games every once in a while. Now, Dan, on the other hand, he's tailor-made for ping pong. that's where he's best. Wouldn't mess his hair. Perfect for him.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Although he did cheap shot me one day, Al. Skating in the neutral zone, of which you have no idea what I'm talking about, but I'll continue anyway. This is the Auto Tire pinch hitter, Eduardo Perez. And I had my head down. Granted, I had my head down. The chaser,
No.
the puck was a foot away from him. He didn't even go after the puck. Just a two-hander right to my dome. And I hit the ice and I quit.
I just wanted to make sure that, while you were talking a big game up in the booth, you just kind of knew what it was like to get one of those.
Here's Eduardo Perez, an RBI opportunity for him. He has 2 home runs on the year. Big swing and a miss. He will be our guest on Cardinals Monthly, by the way, here on Fox Sports Net. Eduardo will be on Thursday night at 7 o'clock. Woody Williams, 5 hits allowed, 3 of them in the 5th, and he goes 6 innings and leaves with no runs scored against him. Perez, a shot in the center field. Encarnacion will settle. Robinson will challenge this one. Here he comes to the plate. It's a one-hopper. He's in time. Gary, the great speed, scores the 7th run of the night, and the RBI for Perez. 7-0 St. Louis here in the 6th.
And Eli goes down to second base, so that speed is phenomenal. All you need is really a 300-foot fly ball. Getting the starting blocks and that takeoff for home. Well, it wasn't even close.
I thought it was going to be a little closer than that one, but with a great speed by Robinson, that nullified that. Moving up smartly on the play was Eli Marrero, so he stands at second, and a 2-out hit could score him. Vigna is 1 for 3 on the night. Almanzar pitches to Vigna. Hot shot to Guerrero. Corrals it in, and that's the 3rd and final out. Thanks for stopping on by, sir.
Good to be around you again, Dan. I missed you.
I can't say the same. That's Kelly Chase. 7-0 Cardinals on top behind 6 hits, a couple of home runs, 1 a solo shot, the other a 2-run shot. Let's look at the head-to-head matchup between the Cards and the Reds. It's brought to you by Equality Ford Dealers. The Cardinals coming into today 4-2. On top of that, in the matchup of 6 games, the ERA has been a little better, more runs, and the average much better, home runs better. The Cardinals 4 games to 2 over Cincinnati. Gary Robinson will stay in this game, as Al told you. He'll take over in left field, and Pujols moves from left to 3rd, and Polanco will take over at short. Now all we need, Al,
Yes.
now all we need is for O'Baby to show up. We get O'Baby.
I was showing Chaser Ken Wilson's picture in the Reds media guide. He was a Reds broadcaster, 83 to 85. There you see the numbers for Mike Timlin, who continues his fine work out of the bullpen. And speaking of the bullpen, they have been unbelievable. Penn has a 13 1/3 inning scoreless streak dating back to Tuesday's game against Chicago. Relievers have not allowed an earned run since last Saturday at Cincinnati, a span of 25 1/3 innings. So let's see if he can give us 3 more innings.
By the way, a big fan of Blues hockey is Tom Mee, of course, our director here tonight. He wants to say hello to Keith Tkachuk, watching in his living room here in St. Louis. Tom says hi to Keith. There is a game going on, you know. It's the 7th, and it's 7-0 St. Louis. And there's a shot. Just foul down the right field line.
Jason not sure if his bat is cracked or not.
No balls and 2 strikes. That's into the seats. LaRue tonight got to start in front of Corky Miller, who's taken over as primarily the #1 guy for Cincinnati. And LaRue is 0 for 2 here tonight. He's left a couple men on back in the 4th, and he struck out in the 2nd.
Dan, part of the reason is they're struggling offensively, and Jason is doing part of that too, so try and go with a hot hitting catcher.
Swing and a miss, and a strikeout for Mike Timlin. That's how we start the top of the 7th. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinal Baseball is a production of Bud Sports and an exclusive presentation of Fox Sports Net. Wilton Guerrero, part of a double switch last inning, will step in for the first time tonight and face Mike Timlin with 1 out, nobody on, and a 7-0 St. Louis lead. Will come your way tomorrow night and Wednesday night at 6:30. The Cardinals tonight, the award-winning pregame show. We hope you'll join us at 6:30 tomorrow night for Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Net. Guerrero to Vina, has to be quick. Safe at first. Safe at first.
Quick play right there. 5 of his 11 hits are infield hits. That is his first hit since May the 7th. He was 0 for 12, and Vina goes to his right, tries to set himself and throw. Bang, bang play, and they say he was safe at first base. Naked eye, I thought he was out.
I agree. On the replay, I thought he was out too.
Can he outrun a baseball? There, he looked like he was safe.
Yep. The other views, I thought he looked out. Either way, he's safe. Here's Barry Larkin. Larkin's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Boy, Woody Williams looked great yet again here tonight, Al.
Yes, I mean, we have come to expect that every time to see him go out there. And he doesn't have the greatest or most electrifying stuff, but he has that inner ability to get the most out of his pitches and really competes hard.
There's a ground ball up the middle, past Polanco into center field. Edmonds will have to get that one back in, and it's a base hit for Barry Larkin. He's 1 for 4 on the night. I thought that might be a double play ball, but just past a diving Polanco to his left. First and second with 1 out. That'll bring in the center fielder, Juan Encarnacion.
Yeah, it brings up a good point, because you know, you got a guy on, you're looking for a double play ball, and there's a lot of times that scouts or someone trying to grade a pitcher will never ever take points away from him because he gave up a hit in a situation where you're looking for a double play. If it's a ground ball hit, the difference was if that's somebody, it is turned.
Yep.
And if it's not, you know, it goes through for the single.
I think you were thinking along the lines I was. Double play ball.
Right. He just placement up the middle was a little bit too much, but remember, part of the equation of hitting a ground ball, a double play ball, is you have to hit it hard.
Encarnacion tonight is 1 for 3. Boone will have a nice dilemma to deal with in about a week or so when Ken Griffey Jr. comes back. They've got Dunn and Kearns and this man at the plate, Sean Casey at first. They'll be able to mix and match and do some different things, but somebody's going to have to sit.
Well, you know what? And the more I've seen Kearns in this series, and may not be the worst thing to send him back down and let him continue to play. Encarnacion is a big leaguer. So is that guy named Junior. You know, and Dunn proved that he belongs up here. So the inexperienced guy is Kearns, and you know the Cardinal pitchers have done a pretty good job of containing him.
And he's only 22, just turned 22
tonight.
Yep. And Timlin is behind in the count. Opponents hitting over 300. Behind here with 3 balls and a strike.
I was going to say, but all opponents are batting .210 against Mike Timlin, so he hasn't found himself behind the count very frequently.
No. Mike Matthews begins to stretch and get loose. He'll walk towards the mound in the bullpen. Right-hander warming up as well. That's fouled away. Full count. Abdominal oblique strain, a mild abdominal oblique strain. We're getting word from the St. Louis Cardinals. The condition of Renteria. Beers, along with Mike Matthews, throwing in the Cardinal bullpen.
Well, that's something you don't want to treat that very cautiously, and don't let it linger, especially with Houston coming in tomorrow.
The 3-2 hit left side. Pujols steps on the bag and gets a lead man. That's all he'll be able to get with a speedy center fielder running up that first base line. So now there's 2 outs, and it's first and second.
Now, jam shot, so not the time to try and turn to, and anytime you get the lead man, you're wise to do so.
To bring in Sean Casey. Casey reached on an error back in the first, flied out to center, and has a base hit. Outfield plays Casey pretty much straight away, a little shade to the opposite field. He had a couple of base hits yesterday to the opposite way and left.
A pretty good job to this point of containing Casey. 3 for 16 in the series.
And 1 for 3 tonight. Casey, first pitch. Tino stays down. A flip to Timlin. And the Reds strand a couple. They've left 9. Now for a look at today's national news headlines. Let's go to the Fox Network Center. Jeff Robin, today's merchandise prize winner, the Hyundai Long Drive Inning Sweepstakes. If the Cardinals hit a home run in the 7th inning, Jeff Robin will qualify for the grand prize drawing for a Hyundai Santa Fe at the end of the season. To register, visit a St. Louis area Hyundai dealer to complete an entry form. Bottom of the 7th, J.D. Drew, Albert Pujols, and Jim Edmonds for St. Louis. And a new catcher, I understand, is in.
No,
it's I was thinking Corky. My fault.
Yeah. You know, one of your favorite 2 names.
Gookie and Corky. Last year, teammates with Pokey. Also teammates with Dimitri. All right.
Gookie Dawkins. He's playing shortstop, so Larkin out of the game.
Almanzar stays in the game. The pitcher for Cincinnati, Carlos Almanzar, 28-year-old from the Dominican.
And he started with Toronto, then he was in the big leagues in the National League with San Diego. Back to the American League with the Yankees.
Here's the 1-1 to Drew. 2 balls and a strike. J.D. has struck out twice tonight and grounded out. His average has dipped to .282.
Almanzar was acquired by the Reds from the Rockies for future considerations.
You can get it up there. Mid-90s he's throwing here tonight.
He was signed by Epi Guerrero, who was super scout with the Toronto Blue Jays.
Drew is struck out for the 44th time this year. 3 strikeouts here tonight. That's how we start the bottom half of the 7th, and a 7-0 St. Louis lead. Well, let's take you back. Albert Pujols on a pitch up in his eyes, drives it into deep left field, and a home run. His 7th and RBI number 24.
Tried to come inside on him. He did get it up, but not inside, and he got extension.
And it got out of here in a hurry. Albert's been aboard 3 times. He is walked, hit by a pitch, and a solo home run back in the 5th. And he's come around to score all 3 times as well. If you're just joining us, let's recap the scoring here. First inning, bases loaded, single up the middle for Tino Martinez. Pujols came around on that one. A 2-run home run by Edmonds in the 3rd made it 4-0. Good pitch there. Solo shot by Albert Pujols made it 5-0. And a couple of RBIs in the 6th made it 7-0. Ball and 2 strikes on Albert with Edmonds on deck. Swing and a miss. He got him. 2 strikeouts in the inning. Coming up tonight, don't want to miss it. Pat Harris, Rob King are standing by in our Fox Sports Net studios with the Midwest Sports Report following the game here tonight. Jason Simon-Tachi makes the start for St. Louis, and we'll go one-on-one with him. He'll start tomorrow. A stadium follow-up. What's next now for the Cardinals? And a complete post-game wrap-up here from Busch Stadium. The Midwest Sports Report coming up. Edmonds pops it up. Jim is walked, homered, and grounded out sharply to second. 1 for 2 on the night. And he's 5 for 14 in this series. Average at .341.
Production getting up there. 10 home runs, 31 RBIs.
No balls and 2 strikes as Almanzar is a strike away from striking out the side. 35,560 our official attendance here tonight at Busch Stadium on a cold night at Busch. These fans have been coming out in droves like we expect, Al. Cardinals have drawn over 250,000 through the first 6 games of this homestand. That's an average of over 42,000 a night. They rank 3rd in the National League this season in average attendance, just under 37,000 as Edmonds pulls it foul. And they're 5th overall in home attendance. They've already drawn close to 1 million. They're already at 770,000.
That's why the ownership wanted to reward the fans for their great patronage coming through the turnstiles by giving them that new ballpark.
1-2 on Edmonds. Jim pops it up. Left side. Boone is there. He's called off by Gookie. 1-2-3 inning for Carlos Almanzar. We played 7. Cardinals pitching a shutout. Baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with lower fares. By Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers. And by Lowe's, improving home improvement. Beautiful night in St. Louis. Very cool, very chilly. 61 degrees when we started. Now we're in the low 50s. Dave Beers will be the 3rd pitcher used by Tony La Russa here tonight. And he's been outstanding out of the bullpen, Al, for the Redbirds. And this bullpen has been unbelievable. A scoreless streak. The pen has now 14 1/3 innings of scoreless baseball. That dates back to Tuesday's game against Chicago. And that was when Dave Beers allowed an unearned run. The Cards relievers haven't allowed an earned run since last Saturday at Cincinnati. Over a week and over 26 innings pitched. The bullpen, a big story for the St. Louis Cardinals at the start of this young season.
And Timlin and Beers both appeared in yesterday's ball game. Dave was the final pitcher in their victory.
Austin Kearns, Adam Dunn, and then Boone. 7-0 Redbirds here in the 8th. Tomorrow night, the Cardinals will open up a 3-game set against the Astros. Again, we'll come your way at 6:30. Jason Simon-Tachi against Carlos Hernandez, who is 4-1. Simon-Tachi is 1-0. They'll be pitching on 10 days rest. And those 2 clubs, the Cards and Astros, will meet 6 times in the next 9 days. Then we won't see the Houston Astros again until September. And they will play 6 times in the final 3 weeks of the season. And many consider the Cardinals and Astros to be the 2 favorites in this division. 1-2 on Austin Kearns.
And they're playing very well, Houston Astros, so it should be great baseball the next 3 days. Then we go on the road. We go 3 to Pittsburgh before going 3 in Houston. There's your 6 out of the 9.
Austin Kearns leading things off. It's 1-2. He just pulled that one foul. He was the first round selection in '98, and Adam Dunn was the second round selection. And our umpire, our third base umpire, all over that call, and the right call, foot foul. Tim McClellan with that call.
Okay, and then we only come home for a quick 3-game set before we go back out on the road.
2-2.
Fan right there on the foul ball. Right through the hands. Lucky you got all your teeth.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Kearns shoots it foul.
Come home from this recent, or the road trip that will start Friday night in Pittsburgh and then go to Houston. Come back on the 31st for a weekend set against Pittsburgh. Then we go on the 3-city road trip. Cincinnati again, Kansas City, and Seattle.
Kearns a swing and a miss. He's saying he tipped it. Instead, a strikeout. Let's take a look at our Advanced Auto Parts NL Central standings. And with a win tonight, the Cardinals will move to 2 games above 500 and just 3 back in the Central. The Astros will be 2 back coming into tomorrow night of the St. Louis Cardinals, and 4.5 out in the Central. Advanced Auto Parts NL Central standings. Here's Adam Dunn. We've talked about it time and again, but you watch guys like Kearns, Dunn, Griffey, Casey, Encarnacion, and you realize why Cincinnati has been in first place. They have got an outstanding lineup that still, if you ask Bob Boone, he'll tell you this lineup hasn't produced like it can or will.
Yeah, I mean, they really came in tonight batting .248.
But their pitching has been the story. Joey Hamilton was their opening day starter.
Well, Hamilton, Rio, and tonight's starter Haynes were non-roster pitchers.
Yeah.
So 3 guys that invited to spring training, and they take up 60% of the rotation.
They have had some injury problems as well.
You know, they're paying their entire 5-man starters about half of what Woody Williams makes.
3-1, just over $3 million, isn't it?
Right.
Reds went 16-9 to start this year. In the month of April, that's their highest victory total for that month since 1970. And 10-8 so far in the month of May. 3 balls and a strike on Dunn. He draws a 1-out walk. It's a great value and great fun. It's the Chevy's Cardinals Crew Kids Club. For only $18, members receive over $70 of great stuff, including 3 tickets to Cardinals games, an autograph party on August 11th, a CD carrying case, car organizer, travel bag, and much, much more. What a great value that is. Give the Cardinals a call at 421-3060 or find out more about it on stlcardinals.com.
Or I think you visit your local Chevys.
You got it.
Pick up a coupon or entry form, whatever it is.
Here is Aaron Boone. It was 2 for his last 21, and he's swinging out of his shoes here. Yikes.
Well, that swing like that, you deserve to stay in a slump.
No balls and a strike with 1 out. Another good pitch by Veers. Veers possesses a very good slider, Al, but he doesn't go to it that often.
Yeah, at times, you know, you wish he would, to give him another alternative for when he doesn't have command of his split finger pitch. He has thrown more fastballs this year, though.
Yes, he has. 0-2 is in the dirt. That splitter, a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, that was a splitter again, but 7 games, 2 for 20, 6 strikeouts. Did get a hit tonight, but it was kind of a little blooper out into right field.
The 1-2 is pulled. Foul. After tonight, Cincinnati will go home. They'll open up a 3-game homestand tomorrow night against the Florida Marlins. So you know about the young pitching staff of the Marlins. Then they'll go to Atlanta and then play the Marlins yet again. So they're going to see some real good pitching in the next 10 days. Here's a 1-2.
Looking at the pitch count.
Ball and 2 strikes on Boone. Double play candidate despite the good speed. Beers is finally set, looks in. Adam Dunn is at first with 1 out. Ooh, where was that pitch?
Wow.
2-2.
Unless Eli was set up outside. Now he just kind of turned back and asked the umpire where that pitch was. So it was a little bit outside, but it sure looked like it was right on the money.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Boone. Full count. Aaron Boone has worked it back to a full count. Dave Veers came up with Houston in '94. A couple of years with the Astros, Montreal, Colorado, and now his 3rd season with St. Louis.
And here's one of those situations that you're talking about. You know, if you had a slider, it's a pitch that is you can have pretty good command of, but the split finger pitch is one that if you throw it, the bottom falls out, it's never a strike. So they have to go to the fastball.
And he draws a walk. That's a good at bat there by Aaron Boone. Back-to-back walks, Dunn and Boone. 2 on, 1 out here in the 8th. Cincinnati for the 24th straight days in first place in the NL Central. And here is Reggie Taylor. Speaking of speed, he has some great speed. Bob Boone said it was one of the great flourishes to spring he's ever seen. He was not going to make, Reggie Taylor was not going to make the Philadelphia Phillies squad. He had about 4 days to make the Cincinnati Reds, and he did. Good pitch there by Dave Veers, 0-1.
One of the bottom falls out. Here's a young man that hit the grand slam against the Cardinals, and Travis Smith in Cincinnati. Last 3 starts, he's 5 for 11 with a double and a grand slam, but
1 ball, 1 strike. People forget Dave Veers 44 saves in his Cardinal career, 9th on the all-time list. And now with Isringhausen with St. Louis, that role is all Izzy. Taylor left side. Pujols only played a first, 2 away. Runners will move up to 2nd and 3rd. That's Dunn and Boone. Dunn is at 3rd, Boone at 2nd. Taylor retired for the 2nd out, and it brings in LaRue. Jason LaRue, the catcher tonight, is 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. Dave Veers a year ago had 5 saves against the Cincinnati Reds. LaRue pops it up and out of play. Originally selected by Oakland all the way back in 1986. Team high 15 saves last year. Ball's and a strike on LaRue. Fly ball deep right center field. Drew on the run at the track, looking up and gone into the bullpen, and a 3-run home run for the catcher LaRue. It's 7-3 St. Louis.
His first home run of the year for Jason LaRue. 0-1 pitch, a fastball out away from him, and you had first base open. You had Guerrero, not a real strong batter on deck, and they tried to go with a fastball and a little bit missing. Look at Eli, glove goes back towards the middle of the plate ever so slightly, and LaRue went with the pitch.
Base is cleared with that 3-run shot.
That kind of reminds you that this game is not over. And Dave Beers has thrown a lot of pitches, and that's one of those situations where you see Dave Duncan a little bit concerned because they want him to be available for tomorrow if need be, and he's thrown 26 pitches now this inning. Use these guys an awful lot, and so the law of percentages catches up with you.
That snaps the scoreless streak by the Cardinals bullpen. 382 feet off the bat of the catcher LaRue. His first home run, RBIs 10, 11, and 12 on the year for Jason LaRue. Here's Guerrero. 1 ball, no strikes with 2 outs and nobody on. Now 7-3 St. Louis lead here in the 8th. That's the big question mark, Al, as you look ahead. Is that slapped into left? Robinson won't make that play. A 1-hopper to him. Is when will it catch up with the bullpen, if at all? Especially when you get into the dog days of this baseball season. You go back to how much they had to be used because of all the injuries. And even at one point, Tony La Russa had a start by committee, so to speak. A 5-hit win against Montreal. But those innings eventually will catch up to the bullpen.
Well, and they're going to check and make sure. Now, Hackman is throwing. They had Crudale up earlier. And they're going to stall a little bit. So now that it's gotten a little closer, I think they want Hackman to come in here. And now that they said he's ready, so Tony will go to the bullpen. We'll talk about this, about the fatigue factor in a second.
So Tony La Russa will take out Beers with 2 outs after that 3-run home run and a base hit. It's 7-3. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Net was brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down. Make it a Bud Light. Busch Stadium, downtown St. Louis. 35,000 here tonight at the ballpark. Glad you're with us on Fox Sports Net. Luther Hackman will be the 4th pitcher used by Tony La Russa. It was Woody Williams, Mike Timlin, Dave Beers, and now Luther Hackman.
Well, Luther appeared last on Saturday against Cincinnati, where inning the 3rd, a shutout baseball. He's not allowed to run in his last 7 games, covering a span of 13 innings. And Jason Isringhausen give him a little tune-up. He last pitched on Friday when he picked up his 10th save against Cincinnati. And you don't want to let this one slip away. So let Luther get the final out of the 8th inning. And whether you want to send him out in the 9th or send Izzy out in the 9th for a tune-up, make sure you get the W.
Here's Gookie Dawkins, 2 for 23 on the year. Hitting .087. Took over for Larkin last inning.
Hitless since April the 10th. That's covering only 15 at-bats.
That's over a month. There's a strike. Hackman will go right at Gookie.
Gookie played with Cincinnati in '99 and 2000, but never played at AAA. Due to injuries, they've had to rush some guys to the big leagues. They really aren't doing him any favors by not playing him.
When Pokey Reese was hurt, Al, and also Larkin was out with the hamstring, Gookie was an everyday player for a while. But now he's off the bench, and he's only 22. And you're right. You're not doing him any service by coming off the bench and pinch hitting here or there.
Only 23 at bats. You know, sometimes it just, you'd rather send a kid back and let him play and mature, develop.
Eli was trying to get him to throw it high. He did. And Gookie didn't chase like he did a pitch before.
Yeah, but you saw Eli show his appreciation for Hackman, following his orders, see where the glove is. He's high in the haunches. And then after he hit the target, Eli kind of nodded his glove back out there, saying that away.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Gookie Dawkins. That's right down the middle. Strikeout for Hackman. Wasted no time and got the 3rd and final out here in the top of the 8th. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Tino will lead things off when we come back. Luis Pineda will take over here in the bottom of the 8th, and the Cardinals on top by 4 runs. It's 7-3. Jason LaRue got the Reds on the board with a 3-run home run. We've seen Pineda in this series. He was part of the Dimitri Young deal. They brought over Pineda and Juan Encarnacion from Detroit. And Tino will lead things off. He has hit the ball hard all 3 times here tonight. And the first pitch is a ball. Tino, a base hit, RBI that scored 2 back in the first. Hit it back to the pitcher off the hand of Jimmy Haynes. It was a bullet that was thrown out. And his last time up, a base hit into right and came around to score.
224.
Getting up there.
Away. I mean, a little breathing room.
Here's a 2-0 pitch. I don't want him to take this the wrong way, but he's hit the ball hard 3 times, Al. 3-0 on Tino. Reds relievers have been outstanding, and a big part of their success. The pluses are their everyday lineup and this bullpen, which is very, very good. There's a strike, and we were going to talk about, Al, the possibility of the Cardinals bullpen maybe wearing down a little bit as this season moves along.
Well, I don't think it's going to happen, and I'll tell you why.
Here's a 3-1 by Pineda. Back to the screen, and Tino will take first.
And why it's not going to happen is, unlike the Red starters, we have some workhorses in our rotation. Now we get them back healthy. So you can consistently see that Morris, Kyle, even Garrett Stevenson, and definitely Woody Williams are going to go 7 to 8 innings consistently, and occasionally a complete game. So when you start doing that, then it's much easier for the manager to keep those fresh arms down there.
And Ricky Ankiel, by the way, and there's Isringhausen. Ricky Ankiel, we can report this along with Steve Klein, update their status. Ricky Ankiel will stop making faces and pitch on the side tomorrow. He will travel to Pittsburgh and throw on the mound to live hitters. One of the things that he is not doing right now is throwing any type of breaking ball. It's all fastballs. So you're going to have him start spinning some on the flat ground, not on the mound. And they want him to start at the lower levels of the minor leagues and work himself back in to the major leagues.
And I'll tell you something that to me makes a lot of sense with that. It's a very conservative approach for a guy that's had first time having a little bit of arm problems. The pain is out of the elbow. But remember last year, if he couldn't throw a strike with his fastball. And every time he needed to throw a strike, it'd be the breaking ball.
Right.
Take that away from him. Make him learn to throw strikes with a fastball before you give him his breaking ball back.
And don't you think
you say you're doing it because of the extra strain that the breaking ball puts on your elbow, but make him learn to throw strikes with a fastball.
And don't you think too, for his mindset and just confidence, they want him to make himself feel like he earned his way back to the major league.
He told me that last off season. We had dinner down in Florida, And he said that he wants to make sure he feels like he earned the right to be here. And last year, with his bad spring training, they gave him the job, and he felt like, he didn't deserve it. So, and Tony told me that he thinks he probably should start at A-ball. A couple starts there, probably go to Peoria first, earn your way to go to Double-A, on to Triple-A, and hopefully everyone's pitching so well you don't have to rush him back again.
Yep. 2-2 on Kerry Robinson. And as far as Steve Klein, he threw on the side today. Reported no pain. Still has a lot of tenderness, though, in the knee, but not in the arm, not in the elbow, and he will have a rehab assignment or two as well.
I was very concerned watching him walk a few days ago, but then over the weekend he was moving around a lot better and said that the knee is healing, but that is going to be a touch-and-go situation. But as a reliever, you don't put that much stress on it.
Pineda with the 2-2 pitch. Robinson, a fly ball into left. Adam Dunn is there and has it. Back to first goes Tino. 1 out. That'll bring in Polanco. Polanco is 0 for 3. Couple of flyouts. Had an RBI opportunity with a man at third and 1 out. Couldn't bring him in earlier tonight. That's been the knock on Placido. Just the RBIs aren't there. Only 10 on the year. 7-3 Cardinals. A chance to take 3 of 4 from the first place Reds. Eli Marrero on deck and a check on Tino at first.
Those 10 RBIs, he has 4 or 5 of them against Cincinnati.
Yep. I know 4 for sure. He had 2 in that comeback win on that Sunday. And then he had a 2-run homer here yesterday. 7-3 Cardinals. And a double play ball. We'll go to the 9th. After the 6-4-3 ends the bottom of the 8th. 7-3. Redbirds will try to take 3 of 4. Top of the 9th, a chance to make it 2 in a row and 3 of 4 over Cincinnati. It's 7-3. Let's turn to our plays of the game, brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste, it won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light. We'll start with Jim Edmonds. There's been a couple of home runs for the Cardinals in this game. That's number 10 off the bat of Edmonds. The opposite way, a 2-run shot. Then Albert Pujols would hit his 7th. That's a solo home run, and the Cardinals never looked back. That made it 5-0. And the Cardinals lead it as we speak by the score of 7-3. This will be a nice little tune-up for Mr. Isringhausen.
Absolutely. He hadn't pitched since Friday. You want to nail down this victory, get you within 3, and send the Reds packing. So Jason will come in here and try to get the final 3 outs. He's recorded 3 of his 10 saves against the Reds this year. And 7 of those 10 have come in the month of May.
He's had strikeouts in 16 of his 19 games. He's recorded saves in each of his last 6 outings. 3 saves in those games against Cincinnati. He's had 2 or more strikeouts in 9 of his appearances. 2 or more. This guy can absolutely dominate. Here's Encarnacion to face Izzy, the Brighton, Illinois native. Isringhausen was, and understandably so, Al, a little disappointed at the way things started with the team struggling. Not many save opportunities, and he wasn't getting. But now he's saved 10 of 11. That fooled the umpire.
Yeah, that happens at times. A big breaking ball, and Eli very diplomatically kind of turning the head and saying, okay, open your eyes now.
Boy, that's nasty, isn't it?
Yeah, when you throw so hard, you get fooled. You can't sit on that one. But he's right on a couple fastballs.
Isringhausen suffered a period when he was in Oakland where he was tipping his pitches. secured that and then dominated again down the stretch.
Fastball away, didn't want the curveball.
And here it is at 1-2. 94 on the gun here at the stadium from Isringhausen. The Cardinals really trying to set a tone against Cincinnati, taking 3 of 4 with a win here tonight if they can close it out, and 2 of 3 in Cincinnati. They'll take it away.
That's a curveball. This time he agrees to throw it.
And it's a strikeout for Jason Isringhausen. Midwest Sports Reports coming up after the game. Pat Ferris will tell us what's coming up right now.
Coming up right after the game on the Midwest Sports Report, our Jim Hayes goes one-on-one with Cards rookie starter Jason Simontachi. Kevin Kennedy talks about the NL Central and the Cardinals, and Jeff Gordon discusses the baseball stadium issue. That's coming up after the game on the Midwest Sports Report. Now back to Dan and Al.
Thank you, Pat. Looking forward to that. Midwest Sports Report. 2 strikeouts away. Here's Casey. What are you smiling at, Al? I'm positive.
You would like to have those strikeouts. Yeah, that's a way to really put a punctuation mark. Cardinals won 2 out of 3 in Cincinnati. They're on the verge of taking 3 out of 4 here at home and having a 6-1 start to their homestand. Didn't want the fastball, didn't want the slider, the cutter, didn't want the fastball away, and do the breaking ball, the curveball.
Oof. Bottom dropped out of it. 0-2.
That is so nasty when you can throw as hard as Jason can.
Sean Casey has a base hit here tonight. Also reached on an error. 1 for 4 and 3 for 17 in the series. He has been quiet.
Fastball away.
Here's the 0-2. 98. 98. Just missed outside.
Obviously, Jason isn't one of these guys that pouts when they put him in a non-safe situation. But he knows what it's all about. You knock it. You play mental games out there. Sure, you'd like to always pitch when the game's on the line, but you knock a game off the standings.
1-2 pitch is pulled for a base hit. A 96-mile-an-hour fastball, and Casey pulls it for a base hit into right. 2-hit night for the Mayor.
Well, these guys, eventually they'll time it. So that's why, to go along with the velocity, it's nice to have movement. And he wanted it further outside. Catches the plate. And he comes through with a base hit.
How about a double play instead of those 2 strikeouts?
How about a double play? They just do it with 1 pitch.
Austin Kearns, the rookie.
He puts down slider normally, but it's like a natural cutter.
That just missed outside, and Isringhausen has been squeezed a bit here in the ninth. Kearns is 1 for 3 tonight, 2 for 11 in the series. 22nd birthday for Austin Kearns here today.
Cutter again.
They play behind Casey at first.
Backed up.
Well, you're right. Kearns really dives over the plate.
Yeah. That's why he's going to hit himself. You know, and if somebody can consistently pitch inside, he'll have tough at-bats. But with guys missing so much out over the plate, he's going to do some damage, and he has.
3-0.
This is what you do not want, is when all of a sudden you want this little tune-up, finish the ball game, and then all of a sudden you end up laboring a little bit or throw a bunch of pitches.
Has not pitched since Friday night. It's 7-3 Cardinals here in the ninth, and the 3-0 is a ball low and away. So first and second with 1 out. This will be a fun little matchup here with Adam Dunn, who had 12 home runs in the month of August as a rookie, most ever in the National League last summer. Dunn and Isringhausen here in the ninth with 2 on and 1 out. Easy at second, Kearns at first. 5 straight balls.
And it's hard to say if somebody throwing 97 miles an hour is aiming, but let it fly. Don't try and guide it there. For a fastball away, but you got to throw a strike.
Ground ball. Vina. Can he get him? He got him.
Terrific play right there. You were thinking, and hopefully he didn't hurt himself a little bit. Jim Edmonds checking on Vina, but looked like it was almost going to be one of those flips behind the back.
I think he thought about
Full
it.
extension. See, yeah, he thought about it, but then he couldn't do it. Then he's trying to run out there and do everything he could to try and get something behind the throw. And there, you know, you're running full speed. He's reaching out, he catches it, then he tries to take another step or two to get some kind of balance, and then reverse direction and throw as your lower body's still carrying it out into the outfield.
What a play by Vina. Reds are down to their final out. Here's Aaron Boone. In a 7-3 St. Louis lead here in the ninth. There's a strike from Isringhausen. First and third with 2 outs, and here's Boone. Walked his last time up. Has a base hit tonight. He's 1 for 3. Pat Paris, Rob King are standing by with the Midwest Sports Report after our final out here on Fox. Make it 0-2.
That away. I was going to say, hopefully Jason and Morero remembers about how big his swing has been. A couple times going out there.
No balls and 2 strikes.
Look for the curveball.
Here it comes. 1 and 2.
If you're a hitter, you basically, that's how you get 2 strikes. You're looking fastball. You get 2 strikes, then you want to shorten up against a guy like Jason who throws so hard, but got that great breaking ball. Fastball away.
The 1-2 pitch. 2 and 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes with first and third and 2 outs. Here in the top of the ninth.
Hitter's got to look fastball, but it looks like he probably throw a breaking ball. Breaking ball.
He got him. Cardinals win it. They take 3 of 4. They're 6-1 on the homestand. Our final score tonight, 7-3. We'll be right back with a complete post-game report. Now it's time for the Midwest Sports Report. Let's send it to the studio.